The January transfer window is now open, and Arsenal have started making moves. In an attempt to strengthen the front line and sustain the title charge, Arsenal have identified Mudryk as a top target. So in today's video, we will take a look at what is going on with that deal. We will also dissect the events of Arsenal versus Newcastle and look at 5 things we learned from Arsenal nil, Newcastle nil. Yo guys, T19 back with another video, and it's the first video of 2023. I'm wishing everyone a happy new year, and of course this year is going to be our year to take over. So if you are excited, of course, drop a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you are new. As we are getting closer, we are on that road to 500 subscribers. So before we get into today's video, I would like to make an announcement about the channel. There will no longer be midweek videos because I will be busy with school, and that's something that's really important to me. Of course, there's a lot of news going around that you don't really need school. If you ask me, why not just do it anyways? If you know you don't need it, just do it anyways. So yeah, the videos will only be coming out in the weekend, but they will still be top notch for you guys. So yes, the January transfer window is now open, and one thing that's on the mind of every Arsenal fan right now is what exactly is our plan. When Arsenal coach Mikel Arteta was quizzed on the January transfer window, he said it's a question for Edu and the board to respond. We are trying to improve the squad in every window. This one is no different. We will do our best because we cannot waste any window with the squad numbers that we have, so we can try. And one of those players is Mudryk. According to Fabrizio Romano, Arsenal's second proposal for Mudryk is close to a €50 million fixed fee plus add-ons. Shakhtar are expected to make a decision. The clubs are in direct contact. Personnel terms have never been an issue. Arsenal is the player's priority. Chelsea will act if Arsenal move collapses. So that's confirmation there from Fabrizio Romano that Arsenal have made a €50 million offer plus add-ons. Other reports are telling us that it's £45 million plus £70 million in add-ons, amounting to £62 million for a player playing in the Ukrainian league for Shakhtar Donetsk. He has lit up in the Champions League and he's Arsenal's top target. But here is something very interesting from Charles Watts. Shakhtar are not backing down over Mudryk, are willing to postpone talks until the summer if £88 million valuation is not hit. Chelsea now in active talks just to make things more complicated. £88 million for Mudryk, let's face it, that is not happening. And I don't think that is the price they're going to settle on. I do think they will agree a fee, but it's not going to be £80 million. I think this total transfer is probably going to cost Arsenal around £70 to £65 million. But one thing I would like to highlight there, Chelsea are now sniffing around. And Chelsea, I'm going to tell you this free of charge. This is exactly why your club is where it is. Mudryk has clearly stated he wants to play up for Arsenal. He has his whole mindset on playing for Arsenal. So can you please explain why you want to get him? He clearly doesn't want to play for your club. He wants to play for your rivals. And this is why Chelsea are where they are. You're chasing a player who has no intention of joining your club whatsoever. His mind is focused on joining your direct rivals. And well, Chelsea, they're just making this more complicated. Todd Boehly is splashing money around. His team aren't still playing well. That's a discussion for another day. But right now, what Todd Boehly is now doing, he's favouring Shakhtar Donetsk. Because now they can now initiate a bidding war, which will eventually make both clubs offer a lot higher than they actually need to for Mudryk. But this is one thing Arsenal fans just need to calm down about. We have the advantage in this one. Mudryk wants to join Arsenal. Todd Boehly will offer whatever money he wants, but if the player does not want to go to Chelsea, he will tell the club, no, I am not moving, I want to go to Arsenal. And if Arsenal can just get that valuation, get around £65 to £70 million, I do believe Mudryk will be an Arsenal player. But of course, do let me know in the comments below, what will be your valuation for Mudryk? And do you think Arsenal should be paying £88 million to Shakhtar Donetsk for his services? Moving on to Arsenal versus Newcastle. The third time the Gunners have dropped points this season. The first time they've dropped points at home. And yes, we have to talk about this game. The referee, a bit of misbehavior from him, but now let's break everything down and look at 5 things we learned from the game. The first thing to take away is we need to strengthen in January. Make no mistake, this game was very hotly contested. And one thing that helped Newcastle stay in the game was the fact that they were able to make impact substitutions off the bench, which Arsenal ultimately didn't have. On the bench, we only had a few quality players, and Fabio Vieira playing in a very physical game could have got very messy. So Arsenal couldn't really rotate up front. We couldn't bring off Nketiah and bring on anyone else. In a normal situation, you could have taken off a midfielder probably and brought on Eddie Nketiah to play alongside Gabriel Jesus. And now we have the returning Gabriel Jesus. We also have the return of Emile Smith-Rowe. But for me, I don't think that's enough. You look at Man City, you look at Liverpool, and now that we're looking at qualifying for the Champions League, you look at Real Madrid, even Barcelona. They have a lot of quality players in different positions. So if Arsenal are going to be serious about this project, if they're going to be serious about sustaining the title charge, I think we have to go out in January and get brilliant players, get Mykhailo Mudryk, probably João Felix as well, get good quality players that can make impacts off the bench. Number 2, let's get this out of the way early, the agenda against Arsenal. Football is meant to be played for 90 minutes. It's a game of 90 minutes, but it's also a very physical game, so there could be stoppages. But you will be surprised to hear that in a game that's supposed to be 90 minutes, against Newcastle, the ball was only in play for 43 minutes and 17 seconds. That is not up to one half. Wait for it, there were only 5 minutes of added time. And when that was announced, the stadium went wild, the players were upset, Arteta was absolutely fuming. And you could understand why. The ref was just flashing out cards like it was his hobby. It was as if they paid him per card dished out. I'm not going to insult the ref. We are now calm. I'm getting more mature. I'm seeing that no matter what I say on YouTube, the FA, they're not going to do anything. They don't care because it's Arsenal. The first foul that should have been a penalty, you've got Dan Burn trying to collect Gabriel Magalhaes' shirt, take it home and frame it so he can tell his children, okay, that man is a better centre-back than me. How is that not a penalty? The back of his shirt is now at the front. If that is not impeding, if that is not a blatant obstruction, if that is not restricting his movements, I don't know what is. And then, of course, there's a second penalty shout. The ball strikes his arm. Fine. In football, if it's in a natural position, then it's not a penalty. This isn't a natural position. This is not a natural position. The ball strikes his arm like this. And what does the ref do? It's not a penalty. Do you know why it's not a penalty? To be honest, for me, it's not a penalty because it was against Arsenal. They didn't give the penalty because it was against Arsenal. I saw a similar thing go on in the World Cup final and it was given. Where a player has their hand in this position, he strikes the hand. If he strikes under the arm, the forearm, it doesn't matter. It's a penalty. But nope, red and white shirts say it's a penalty, so no, it's not a penalty. I don't know when this is going to stop, but it's looking like no matter what we say online, no matter how much we complain, the FA aren't going to do anything. Or is that going to change? I'm seeing reports that Mikel Arteta is going to vent his anger at the current head of the officiating. Whatever that is, I think these English refs need to understand the game. They need to go and read the rules, especially before they come to the Emirates and put in performances like that. We're fuming now because this is a game where if you give us 2 penalties, come on, man. At least we would have had the chance to score 2 penalties. Obviously, Nick Pope, very good, tall keeper. But those are 2 penalties, 2 blatant penalties. You've got a wonderful penalty taker in Bukayo Saka. For me, if this was good officiating, if we had a good referee like Pierluigi Collina, Arsenal would have won this game comfortably. But it is what it is. Third thing, and that is Zinchenko is class. Zinchenko is a very different kind of left back. You first have the basic things he does, like move into midfield, provide an extra option, but he's also a very intelligent player. He understands where the pockets are, he understands where to pick up space and how to find a pass, and wait till you see his stats from the game. He had 108 touches, a 92.1% pass accuracy, 82 passes, and 2 out of 2 long balls. A crazy man in the dressing room, but extremely influential on the ball. Off the ball as well, he's really good. And Zinchenko was part of the reason why Arsenal were able to sustain pressure and also play through the Newcastle press. Because make no mistake, Newcastle pressed Arsenal very intensively. But having players like Zinchenko who understand where the space are, understand how to attack spaces, how to get into the pockets, that was the reason Arsenal were able to comfortably play through Newcastle's press. Fourth thing, and that is the bullying days are over. One thing I am happy and I am proud of coming out from that game is that the bullying days are finally over. Gone are the days where teams will come to the Emirates and bully Arsenal off the park. If teams get physical, back in the day, early Emery times, if teams decide to get physical, Arsenal will absolutely have a torrid day at the office. Today, Newcastle thought they could do that, but Arsenal players were fighting, playing for the badge. They wanted revenge. Unfortunately, the ref didn't allow it, but you could see Arsenal going into every challenge, giving 100%, and that is something I want to see from players on a day-to-day basis. And it finally looks like Arsenal are doing that consistently. So long may it continue. The fifth thing is there is no need to worry. Newcastle have the best defensive record in the league. They are third position, literally trailing Man City, and Arsenal getting a point from them in a game where the ref absolutely ruined it. He lost the game in the first half for me. So for Arsenal fans, I think we don't need to overreact. No need to panic. No need to worry. If Chelsea can just do their job today, we will see 8 points clear of Man City. So yeah, don't get too worried. Don't overreact. Everything's still under control. We're still clear of Newcastle and Man City. It's still very lonely at the top. Yes, boys and girls, that is the end of the video. Hope you have enjoyed it. If you have, drop a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you are new. And I will see you guys in the next one.